the ambush, the stars above Earth suddenly went dark. Not because the sun had died, not because of clouds, but because 50 massive alien warships had surrounded the planet like hungry wolves circling their prey. Admiral Zekthor stood on the bridge of his flagship, the Dominion's Fist. His 4 eyes gleamed with satisfaction as he looked at the small blue planet below. Earth, home of the humans. The species the Galaxy Council had deemed too dangerous to ignore any longer. Such a pretty world, Zekthor said, his voice dripping with mock sadness. It's almost a shame we have to destroy it. His second officer, a thin creature with purple skin, nodded eagerly. The humans have grown too bold, Admiral. They refuse to bow to Council authority. They reject our trade deals. They laugh at our threats. Then today they learn to fear us, Zekthor replied coldly. He pressed a button on his command chair. Across all 50 warships, weapon systems hummed to life. Plasma cannons charged. Missile tubes loaded. Energy shields activated with a blue glow that could be seen even from Earth's surface. Send the message, Zekthor ordered. Down on Earth, in the United Defense Headquarters buried deep beneath Geneva, alarms screamed. Red lights flashed across every wall. Officers ran between stations, shouting orders and status reports. Sir, alien fleet detected. How many ships? 50, sir. Council warships, all of them. General Marcus Stone stood at the center of the chaos like a rock in a storm. He was a tall man with gray hair and cold blue eyes that had seen too many wars. His face showed no fear, no panic. Just calm calculation. Put them on screen, he said quietly. The main view screen flickered to life. Admiral Zekthor's alien face appeared, his 4 eyes staring down at them with obvious contempt. Humans of Earth, the Admiral began, his voice translated by their systems. I am Admiral Zekthor of the Galaxy Council Defense Fleet. Your planet is now under Council jurisdiction. You have violated 17 different galactic laws. You have refused to join the Council. You have stolen Council technology. And worst of all, you have shown disrespect to your betters. Officers around General Marcus tensed. Some reached for their sidearms instinctively, but Marcus raised one hand and they all froze. Zekthor continued, clearly enjoying himself. Therefore, the Council has authorized me to give you one simple choice. Surrender your planet completely. Dismantle your military. Accept Council governors. Or, he paused dramatically. We turn your cities to glass. We boil your oceans. We make Earth a warning to every other primitive species in this galaxy. You have 24 hours to decide, Zekthor finished. Choose wisely, humans. It's the last choice you'll ever make. The screen went black. Silence filled the command center. Every officer stared at General Marcus, waiting for his response, waiting for orders, waiting for hope. Marcus stood perfectly still for 5 long seconds. Then slowly, a cold smile spread across his face. Well, he said softly, they finally came. His second-in-command, Colonel Sarah Chen, stepped forward. Sir, your orders? Marcus walked to the tactical display showing all 50 enemy warships positioned around Earth. He studied them carefully, like a chess master examining the board. How long have we been tracking their fleet? He asked. Since they entered the solar system, sir, Chen replied. 3 days ago. And they think we didn't notice? Marcus chuckled. They think we're primitive, blind, stupid. He turned to face his officers. The smile was gone now, replaced by something harder, something dangerous. Gentlemen, ladies, we've prepared for this moment for 20 years. Ever since we detected Council surveillance drones watching us. Ever since we realized we weren't alone in the universe. Ever since we understood that the galaxy was full of predators. Marcus pressed several buttons on the display. All across Earth, hidden bases received his signal. On the moon, massive railgun batteries rotated silently into firing position. In the asteroid belt, weapons platforms powered up. Underground silos opened like the eyes of a waking giant. They want to see our weapons? Marcus said, his voice cold as ice. They want to see what primitives can do? He looked up at the ceiling, as if he could see through rock and metal to the alien fleet above. Then let's show them. Red lights turned green across every station. Weapon systems that had been hidden for decades suddenly appeared on the tactical display. Not dozens, not hundreds, thousands. Admiral Zekthor's fleet had surrounded Earth, but they had no idea that Earth had surrounded them first. The trap was set, and in 24 hours, the Galaxy Council would learn the hardest lesson of all. Never corner a predator, especially not humanity. The counterattack. 23 hours had passed since Admiral Zekthor's ultimatum. On the bridge of the Dominion's Fist, the Admiral relaxed in his command chair, sipping a bitter drink from his homeworld. Around him his crew worked quietly, monitoring the silent planet below. "Any response from the humans?" Zekthor asked lazily. "Nothing, sir," his communications officer replied. "Complete silence. Their military bases show no activity. Their ships remain docked. They're not even trying to evacuate their cities." Zekthor laughed. "Of course not. They know resistance is pointless. They're probably arguing among themselves right now, deciding which leaders to sacrifice to save their pathetic species." His second officer approached nervously. "Sir, should we perhaps scan for hidden weapons? The humans are known for being unpredictable." "Hidden weapons?" Zekthor's four eyes narrowed in amusement. "Look at their technology. They still use chemical rockets to reach space. They still fight with bullets and explosives. They're children playing with toys." He waved his hand dismissively. "Our shields could withstand their entire nuclear arsenal. There's nothing to fear from these primitives." The second officer nodded but didn't look convinced. 1 hour remains, Zekthor announced to his fleet. "Prepare the planet-killer weapons. When the time expires, we'll destroy their 10 largest cities simultaneously. That should make them beg fast enough." But far below, on the dark side of Earth's moon, something was happening. Massive metal doors slid open across the lunar surface, doors that had been camouflaged for decades, invisible to Council scanners. From these doors emerged weapons that shouldn't exist. Railguns the size of skyscrapers, electromagnetic accelerators powered by fusion reactors buried deep underground. General Marcus stood in the moon base command center, watching the countdown timer. "All stations report ready." "Sir," Colonel Chen said calmly. Marcus nodded. "Target locks confirmed on all 50 enemy ships, sir. The firing solutions are perfect." "Good." Marcus checked his watch. "We gave them 24 hours. They get exactly 24 hours, not 1 second more." The timer hit 0. "Fire," Marcus said simply. The moon's surface erupted with light. 50 railguns fired simultaneously. Each projectile was a solid tungsten rod, 20 feet long and moving at a significant fraction of light speed. No explosives, no warheads, just pure kinetic energy. The rods were invisible, silent, impossible to detect until too late. Aboard the Dominion's Fist, alarms suddenly screamed. "Impact alert!" an officer shrieked. Zekthor jumped from his chair. "What, from where?" The answer came in fire and destruction. A tungsten rod punched through the Dominion's Fist shields like they were paper. The shields were designed to stop energy weapons and missiles, but solid metal moving at near light speed. The physics was simply too much. The rod pierced straight through the flagship from top to bottom. The kinetic energy released was equivalent to a nuclear explosion. The mighty warship broke in half, its reactor exploding in a brilliant flash of light. Admiral Zekthor died before he even understood what had killed him. All around Earth, Council ships exploded, one after another. 10 ships destroyed in the first 5 seconds. The remaining 40 tried desperately to raise emergency shields, to maneuver, to return fire. But they didn't know where the attack was coming from. "Report!" screamed Commander Vixtal, now the senior officer of the shattered fleet. His ship, the Vengeance, had survived only because it had been positioned on the far side of Earth. "Weapons fire from Earth's moon," a scanner officer shouted in disbelief. "But that's impossible. Our intelligence said the moon was uninhabited." "Your intelligence was wrong," a new voice said calmly. Every surviving Council ship's communication system activated simultaneously. General Marcus's face appeared on their screens. "This is General Marcus Stone of the United Earth Defense Force," he said, his voice eerily calm. "You came to our home. You threatened our families. You gave us an ultimatum." Behind him, officers worked quickly at their stations. "Now let me give you one," Marcus continued. "Every one of your ships is currently targeted by weapons you can't see and can't stop. Surrender immediately or join your admiral in death." Commander Vixtal's face twisted with rage. "You dare threaten us? We are the Galaxy Council. We have conquered 1,000 worlds. And today you lose to one," Marcus replied coldly. "All ships!" Vixtal roared. "Return fire. Destroy that moon base. Destroy everything. Council ships opened fire. Plasma beams and missiles streaked toward the moon. But before they could reach their target, new alerts rang out across the alien fleet. Sir, new contacts. Dozens of them. Location: the asteroid belt. They're everywhere. Hidden among the asteroids, camouflaged weapons platforms activated. More railguns, missile batteries, laser arrays. Each platform had been positioned years ago, waiting patiently for this exact moment. The asteroids themselves became weapons. Massive rocks, fitted with simple rocket engines, began accelerating toward the Council fleet. No fancy technology, just big rocks moving very fast. Commander Vixtal watched in horror as his fleet was torn apart from every direction. His tactical display showed Earth wasn't just defending. Earth was attacking from the moon, from the asteroid belt, from hidden satellites, from everywhere. How? He whispered. How did primitives build all this? On Earth, General Marcus allowed himself a small smile. Colonel Chen, activate the final surprise. Yes, sir, she replied, pressing a sequence of buttons. In orbit around Earth, what the Council had assumed were old, abandoned satellites suddenly came to life. Their hulls split open, and from inside emerged something the Galaxy Council had never expected to see. Warships, human warships, sleek, modern, armed with technology that made Council ships look ancient. 20 human warships powered up their engines and began moving toward what remained of the Council fleet. Commander Vixtal's blood ran cold. Retreat, he screamed. All ships jump to hyperspace. Retreat now. But as his ship tried to activate its faster-than-light drive, nothing happened. Jump drives offline, his engineer reported in panic. Something is jamming us. We can't escape. General Marcus's voice came through again, and now there was no warmth in it at all. Did you really think we'd let you leave? You came here to destroy us. Now you stay here to face justice. The human warships surrounded the remaining Council vessels like sharks circling wounded prey. Surrender, Marcus said one final time. Or die. Commander Vixtal looked at his tactical display. 30 of his 50 ships were destroyed. The rest were damaged and surrounded. His weapons couldn't penetrate human shields. His drives wouldn't engage. He had no options left. The mighty Galaxy Council fleet had been beaten by the species they called primitive. With shaking hands, Commander Vixtal reached for the surrender button. The hunters had become the hunted. The truth exposed. Commander Vixtal sat in the interrogation room, his 4 arms bound in electromagnetic restraints. His purple skin had turned pale gray with fear and shame. Across the metal table sat General Marcus Stone, calm as ever, studying the alien commander like a scientist examining an interesting specimen. I don't understand, Vixtal said quietly. Your species only reached space 50 years ago. We watched you. Your technology was primitive. Your ships were slow. Your weapons were simple. Marcus leaned back in his chair. You're right. 50 years ago we were primitive. But you made one critical mistake, Commander. What mistake? You assumed we stayed primitive. Marcus smiled coldly. Tell me, when did the Council first discover Earth? Vixtal hesitated. 100 years ago, we sent observation drones. We studied your species from a distance. 100 years, Marcus repeated. And in that century, what did you learn about humans? That you were violent, aggressive. You fought constant wars among yourselves. You conquered your own planet through bloodshed. Vixtal's voice grew bitter. The Council debated for decades whether to eliminate you or wait for you to destroy yourselves. Marcus nodded slowly. Yes, we are violent. We do fight. But you missed the most important detail about humanity, Commander. What detail? We learn. Marcus stood up and walked to the window overlooking Earth. Every war we fought taught us something new. Every defeat made us stronger. Every enemy showed us our weaknesses, and when we discovered we weren't alone in the universe. He turned back to face Vixtal. We learned the most important lesson of all, which was that the galaxy was full of predators bigger than us, and if we wanted to survive, we needed to become the biggest predator of all. Vixtal's eyes widened. You knew we were watching? For 70 years, yes. Marcus pressed a button on the table. A holographic display appeared, showing timeline data. 30 years after you started observing us, one of your drones malfunctioned. It crashed in the Pacific Ocean. We recovered it. reverse engineered it, and suddenly we could see you watching us." The commander stared in horror at the images. "That drone was reported lost. We thought it burned up in your atmosphere." "You thought wrong," Marcus said. "That drone taught us three things. First, we weren't alone. Second, you had technology far beyond ours. And third, you were studying us like lab rats, like prey. So what did you do?" Marcus's expression hardened. "We united. For the first time in human history, every nation on Earth came together with one purpose: survival. We pooled our resources, shared our knowledge, built weapons in secret where your drones couldn't see." He pressed another button. The hologram changed, showing underground facilities, hidden moon bases, disguised asteroid stations. While you watched our surface, assuming we were still primitive, we built an entire military infrastructure underground and in space. Your drones never detected it because we used your own technology against you. We learned how your sensors worked. We designed our facilities to be invisible to them. Vixtal felt sick. "The moon base. Built 25 years ago," Marcus confirmed. "The asteroid weapons platforms? 20 years. The warships you saw? 15 years in development. All of it hidden. All of it waiting. But the technology," Vixtal protested weakly. "Those warships had FTL drives, energy shields, weapons beyond anything you should possess." "How?" Marcus smiled, but there was no humor in it. "You weren't the only species watching us, Commander. Over the decades, 7 different alien races sent observation drones to Earth. We found 5 of them. Each one taught us something new. Each one gave us pieces of the puzzle." He pulled up images of different drone wreckages. The Krell drone taught us about energy shields. The Vortan drone showed us plasma weapons. The Hexian drone revealed FTL drive principles. And your Council drone? It gave us the most valuable gift of all. What gift? Your communication protocols. Your fleet movements. Your tactical doctrines. Marcus leaned forward. "For 70 years, we've been listening to your military transmissions. We know how you fight. We know how you think. We've studied every Council battle for 3 generations, and Earth had won." Vixtal slumped in his chair, the full horror of the situation finally clear. "You let us think you were weak. You wanted us to attack. We needed to know if the Council was truly a threat," Marcus admitted. "For years we debated. Maybe you were peaceful. Maybe you'd leave us alone. But then you sent your ultimatum. You proved you were predators, and predators only understand one language. Violence," Vixtal whispered. "Strength," Marcus corrected. "The Council respects strength. You bow to those stronger than you and crush those weaker. So we needed to show you that humanity is not weak. Not anymore." The door to the interrogation room opened. Colonel Chen entered carrying a data pad. "Sir, the prisoners are all secured. We've also finished analyzing their ship databases." Marcus took the pad and scrolled through the information. His expression grew dark. "Commander Vixtal, according to these records, the Galaxy Council has destroyed 47 species in the last 1,000 years. 47 civilizations wiped out because they refused to submit." Vixtal said nothing. "You were planning to do the same to us," Marcus continued, his voice hard as steel. "Your fleet carried planet-killer weapons, biological weapons. You intended to massacre billions." "We were following Council law," Vixtal said weakly. "Your law is murder," Marcus shot back. "But here's what you don't understand about humans, Commander. When someone tries to destroy us, we don't just survive. We make sure they can never threaten us again." He pressed another button. The hologram changed to show space around Earth. More human warships were appearing, dozens of them, all emerging from hidden positions throughout the solar system. 50 ships, Marcus said quietly. "You brought 50 ships to conquer Earth. We now have 80 warships, and we're building more every day. Within 5 years, we'll have 200. Within 10, 500. Vixtal stared at the display in disbelief. "The Council will send a larger fleet. 1,000 ships. 10,000. Let them come," Marcus said coldly. "Every day they wait, we grow stronger. Every month we build more weapons. We're not the primitives you remember, Commander. We're the species you created by threatening us." "What are you going to do with us?" Vixtal asked, fear evident in his voice. Marcus stood. "You're going to deliver a message to your Council. You're going to tell them exactly what happened here. You're going to explain that Earth is no longer prey. And you're going to make them understand one simple truth." "What truth?" Marcus looked at the alien commander with cold, merciless eyes. that humanity is coming. We know where the Council homeworlds are. We know your military bases, your trade routes, your colonies. You wanted to expand to our part of the galaxy? Fine, but now we're expanding too. And unlike the Council, we don't conquer through fear. We conquer through strength. He turned to Colonel Chen. Prepare a ship for the commander. Load it with all our sensor data from the battle. Visual recordings, everything. Sir, isn't that a security risk? Chen asked. No, Colonel. It's a message. Marcus looked back at Vixtal. The Council needs to see what happens when they threaten Earth. They need to understand that we're not victims. We're not refugees. We're not primitives. He walked to the door, then paused. We're the new apex predators in this galaxy, and the hunt has just begun. As Marcus left, Vixtal sat alone in the interrogation room, staring at the holographic display of human warships. The Galaxy Council had made first contact with Earth, and they had created their worst nightmare. A species that learned from every fight, that grew stronger from every threat, that never forgot and never forgave. The Council had tried to destroy humanity. Instead, they had unleashed it upon the galaxy, and now there was no going back. The final shock 3 days after the battle, Commander Vixtal stood on the bridge of a small Council scout ship. His crew was gone. His fleet was destroyed. He was alone, preparing to return home with the most humiliating message in Council history. But before he could leave, General Marcus had one final demonstration. Commander, Marcus's voice came through the communication system. Before you go, there's something you need to see, something the Council needs to understand. Vixtal felt a chill run through his body. What more could you possibly show me? The reason you never stood a chance, Marcus replied. Look at your sensors. What do you see? Vixtal checked his scanner display. His blood froze. 3 massive objects were approaching Earth, ships, but not human ships. These were Council dreadnoughts, the biggest warships in the galaxy. Each one was 5 times larger than any ship in Vixtal's destroyed fleet. The Council sent reinforcements. Vixtal whispered. They're going to destroy you, are they? Marcus asked calmly. The 3 dreadnoughts took position around Earth, forming a triangle. Their weapon systems powered up, enough firepower to crack a planet in half. A transmission came through on all frequencies. Humans of Earth, a deep voice boomed. I am Supreme Commander Throcknar of the Council Enforcement Division. You have destroyed a Council fleet. You have imprisoned Council officers. This is an act of war. You have 10 minutes to surrender completely, or we will activate our Omega Protocol. Vixtal's eyes widened in terror. The Omega Protocol? No, they can't. What is it? Marcus asked sharply. Planet destroyers. Vixtal explained, his voice shaking. Each dreadnought has one. When activated together, they create a resonance beam. It doesn't just destroy cities. It destroys the entire planet, breaks it into pieces. Earth will become an asteroid field. On Earth, in the command center, officers looked at General Marcus with fear. This was beyond anything they had prepared for. These weren't regular warships. These were the Council's ultimate weapons. Colonel Chen stepped close to Marcus. Sir, our intelligence never mentioned these ships. We're not prepared for this. Marcus stared at the tactical display, watching the 3 dreadnoughts position themselves perfectly. Each ship was now at a point of the triangle, with Earth at the center. 10 minutes, Marcus said quietly. They gave us 10 minutes. Sir, we need to evacuate. Get people to the underground shelters. If those ships fire, they won't, Marcus interrupted. Sir? Marcus touched his communication device. Dr. Sarah Mitchell, are you ready? A woman's voice responded, calm and confident. Yes, General. The system is online. We're ready when you are. Vixtal listened in confusion. What system? What are you doing? Marcus ignored him. He watched the countdown timer. 9 minutes remaining. In space, Supreme Commander Throcknar laughed on his bridge. Look at them, silent, afraid. They know they've lost. Even their tricks and hidden weapons can't stop the Omega Protocol. His weapons officer nodded. The resonance beam is charging, Commander. 7 minutes to full power. Excellent, Throcknar said. Let them sweat. Let them realize their mistake. The Council does not lose to primitives. But on Earth, something was happening. Deep beneath the surface, in a facility so secret that only 20 people knew it existed, massive machines came to life. Machines built from technology that didn't come from any alien drone. technology that humanity had developed itself through decades of desperate research. Dr. Mitchell stood in the control room, surrounded by displays showing energy readings that climbed higher and higher. Dimensional field generator at 40%, she reported calmly. Dimensional field? Vixtol gasped. That's impossible. That technology is theoretical even for the Council. 5 minutes, Marcus said, still watching the timer. On the dreadnoughts, alarms suddenly began to sound. Commander! A sensor officer shouted. We're detecting strange energy readings from Earth. They're off the scale. Throcknar frowned. What kind of energy? Unknown, sir. Our computers can't identify it. It's like nothing we've ever seen. It doesn't matter, Throcknar growled. 4 minutes. Continue charging the Omega Protocol, but the energy readings kept climbing. The space around Earth began to shimmer, like heat waves on a hot day. Reality itself seemed to bend and twist. Sir, whatever they're doing, it's affecting local space-time. The science officer reported in panic. Our targeting computers are going haywire. Compensate, Throcknar ordered. 3 minutes. Nothing can stop the Omega Protocol once it reaches full charge. Dr. Mitchell's voice came through clearly now, speaking to the entire Council fleet. Supreme Commander Throcknar, I am Dr. Sarah Mitchell, Director of Earth's Advanced Physics Research Division. What you're detecting is a dimensional field generator. We discovered the principles 15 years ago while studying quantum mechanics. Your Omega Protocol works by creating a resonance frequency that tears planets apart, correct? Throcknar didn't respond, but his face showed surprise that humans understood the weapon. The problem with resonance, Dr. Mitchell continued, is that it requires 3 points of contact, 3 beams meeting at a single point. But what happens if that point moves? What is she talking about? Throcknar demanded. His science officer's face went pale. Sir, if they can shift Earth into a different dimensional phase, even slightly, our beams won't converge. They'll pass right through the planet without touching it. That's impossible, Throcknar roared. Moving an entire planet out of phase would require more energy than a star produces. You're right, Dr. Mitchell said calmly. That's why we're not moving the planet. We're moving your ships. Before Throcknar could respond, the dimensional field activated at full power. The 3 dreadnoughts suddenly felt wrong. Their crews experienced a moment of vertigo. Their senses went crazy, and when they looked at each other through their view screens, they saw something impossible. The other dreadnoughts were fading, becoming transparent, shifting out of normal space. What's happening? Throcknar screamed. You're being moved into different dimensional phases, Dr. Mitchell explained. Your ship is now 0.001% out of sync with normal reality. The second dreadnought is 0.002% out of sync. The third is 0.003%. You can still see each other, but your weapons can't affect each other. And more importantly, the Omega Protocol fired. 3 massive beams of pure destructive energy lanced out from the dreadnoughts. They should have met at Earth's core, creating a resonance wave that would shatter the planet. Instead, the beams passed through empty space, missing each other by fractions of a dimension. They hit nothing, destroyed nothing. Earth remained perfectly intact. Your weapons don't work, Dr. Mitchell finished. Throcknar stared in absolute horror. No, this can't be happening. But it is, General Marcus said, his voice hard. You came here with your biggest weapons, your planet killers, your ultimate threat, and we stopped it with science you don't even understand. He pressed a button. Around the 3 dreadnoughts, human warships appeared, dozens of them, all armed, all targeting the helpless Council ships. Here's what happens next, Marcus said coldly. You're going to power down your weapons. You're going to surrender your ships. And you're going to join Commander Vixtal in delivering our message to the Council. Never, Throcknar shouted. I would rather die than surrender to primitives. That can be arranged, Marcus replied without emotion. But think carefully, Commander. If you die here, the Council learns nothing. They send more fleets, more humans die, more Council members die, or you can be smart, surrender, go home. Tell them the truth. What truth? That Earth is not a target. We're not victims. We're not primitives. Marcus's voice grew cold as ice. We are the species that turns your ultimate weapons into toys. We are the species that masters technologies you haven't even dreamed of. We are humanity, and we are done being threatened. Thrognar looked at his tactical display. 50 human warships surrounded him. His weapons were useless. His fleet was destroyed. He had lost. With shaking hands, he reached for the surrender command. I surrender. Wise choice, Marcus said. 1 week later, 4 council ships left Earth's solar system. Commander Vixtel's scout ship and 3 captured dreadnoughts, now flying council flags at half-mast in shame. Aboard them were the survivors of the greatest military defeat in council history. They carried with them detailed records, videos of the battles, technical data on human weapons, and one simple message. Earth was no longer a primitive world to be conquered. Earth was a power to be feared. In the command center, Colonel Chen stood beside General Marcus, watching the council ships leave. "Sir, do you think they'll attack again?" she asked. Marcus was silent for a moment. "Maybe, probably, the council doesn't forgive easily." "Then what do we do?" Marcus looked at the stars, at the vast galaxy beyond their small blue world. "We prepare, we build, we grow stronger." He turned to face her, and his eyes held no doubt. "The council has ruled this galaxy for thousands of years. They think they're the apex predators, the ultimate power, and now they know the truth," Marcus said quietly. "There's a new predator in the galaxy, one that doesn't bow, doesn't break, doesn't surrender." He looked back at the stars. "Humanity has entered the galactic stage, and we're not asking for permission, we're not begging for acceptance." His voice grew firm. "We're taking our place among the stars, by strength, by courage, by proving that no matter how big you are, no matter how powerful you think you are." He smiled coldly. "You don't threaten Earth and live to brag about it." Colonel Chen smiled too. "The council is going to regret ever finding us." "They already do," Marcus replied. "And soon the whole galaxy will know." "Know what, sir?" "That humanity has arrived, and the galaxy will never be the same again." Far across space on the council homeworld, the 4 returning ships arrived. The High Council gathered to hear the survivors' report, to see the videos, to understand what had happened. And for the first time in 1,000 years, the mighty Galaxy Council felt something they had almost forgotten. Fear. Earth had won. Humanity had proven itself, and the age of human dominance in the galaxy had just begun. The end.